Hello again, and welcome to Nat'l, a weekly podcast about the celebrations occurring on that specific day. There will be some we know too well, and some we're not as familiar with. Join me, and together we'll learn something new, eat yummy food, and have a great time. Today, March 23rd, is Near Miss Day. You know, when I start working on an episode, I often have to choose between a few events that are going on that day. When I saw Near Miss Day, I initially ignored it. It sounded silly, and my assumption of what it could be was negative. I started planning for a different celebration. But then when I came across it again, I felt compelled to check it out. We always hear, don't judge a book by its cover, but often we only apply that when others are looking at us, and never when we're looking at someone or something. I came to find out that Near Miss Day is about recognizing and remembering 4581 Asclepius, aka the asteroid that nearly destroyed us in 1989. Okay, I guess that's a bit of an exaggeration. The average person probably wouldn't consider it close. I mean, it didn't even hit us. At all. I think it's still important to remember, though, because if it did hit us, the energy released would have been comparable to a 600 megaton nuclear bomb. Now, honestly, there's something really important, intense, and kind of terrifying about that number. The Hiroshima bomb, which my wonderful country dropped on Japan, was 16 kiloton of TNT. 1 megaton is 1,000 kilotons, which means that 600 megaton asteroid is about 37,000 times stronger than the bomb we used to obliterate, over 100,000 people? I don't remember the number. So just imagine what Asclepius could have done. That's just crazy, and I seriously want us to just take a moment to think about that. You know, you would kind of think that due to our obsession with apocalyptic movies, we would take more care of each other and our planet, and prepare ourselves for what might occur. It's unfortunate that organizations like NASA, for example, only goals are space science and exploration. That's it. Public safety is not a concern, but that's because we won't allow it. I guess we'll just have to wait for the day after tomorrow, Deep Impact, San Andreas, or Twister to really happen before we do anything to prevent the next one from happening. Why do we always do that? Why do we always prevent the next one instead of preventing the first one? You know, I'm not a scientist or anything like that, and I'd like to think I'm a sci-fi geek, but I'm well aware of my limits. But that doesn't mean that I deny its reality. Just because I'm incapable of, or at least feel as though I'm incapable of, really understanding or grasping science or math after a certain point, that doesn't make it unreal. Why do we live in a world where what we know or are capable of knowing trumps everything else? That if there's something else that makes more sense, or is just simply easier to understand because it's been passed around longer, must be the truth. I trust in science because it's willing to open itself up to change, if need be. I trust in science because it's willing to challenge its results to make sure that the results are in fact true, are in fact facts. It may be easier to believe in something that readily and psychologically comforts us, but it will be science that comforts us in the long run, if and when an asteroid ever points its finger directly at us. As always, thanks again for listening. If you want to contact me, you can email me at nat'lpodcast@outlook.com. That's NATL podcast at outlook.com. And feel free to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you happen to listen on iTunes, don't hesitate to throw me a star or two or
I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.